Good morning, everybody. I was too busy fooling around with buttons to notice I had the wrong scene. This is the scene I like to open with. This is only semi-professional show business, after all. It's me, Mitch. Welcome. Welcome to Morning Coffee with Mitch. Good to see you. And as usual, here we are. Drink it if you got it. Excuse me. Part of the joy of what the stroke did to me is occasionally when I swallow something, it goes down the wrong pipe. Life's little pleasures. But all in all, things are going great. How are you, my friends? Got a nice crowd to start off with. I see, let me put this one up here so you can see the chat. I see that Tue has given me a £2 super chat. Thank you, Tue. Thank you. Super sticker. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. People are piling in this morning. It's Tuesday. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning down here in Florida. A little bit cool, but sunny, blue sky. Problem is, we're starting to have a drought. Not enough rain. Where I love this weather. I remember back in 1969, it got so dry in the springtime that half the state was burning in wildfires in June. It was a nightmare. So I would hate to see that happen again. They're not predicting any rain for quite a while. But we'll hope for the best. Always some kind of boogeyman coming for you. Oh, wow. I had a very interesting day yesterday. I stretched the boundaries and the limits of what has become my new world, limited by my mobility. I chronicled it in a video, which will come out this afternoon just before 3. Not as serious as the last few videos. I decided to have a little fun, lighten up, and I think you'll like it. So watch out for that this afternoon. Being too serious all the time about this can get you down. This has taught me a valuable lesson about life and about myself. And that is, well, this may be a little cliche, but if you're handed a lemon, make lemonade. We've all heard about that. Well, I'm proving to myself that indeed is the most healing way to get over this and survive it. The other way is dark, depressive, and destructive. It takes a lot of awareness and conscious thought to keep your attitude up. Remember, it's always easier to fall down than to climb up. Climbing requires effort. But I'm glad I decided to do it that way. and remind myself every day to look for the bright side and have some optimism that it'll all work out in the end. The following motivational talk has been brought to you by me. Oh, wow. Look at all the people. Look at all the people. We have 114 of you. So let me go ahead and say hi to the early birds. Those of you that chimed in last night and early this morning. First one in, Mike Seeley in Tampa. Hi, Mike. How are you? Chimed in at 6:41. That was just after I posted this video. Next, Lori. Can always count on you. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm I got Tuesday and Friday, and I'll tell you what happened. The longest break is between Friday and Tuesday. It's 4 days. On Sunday morning, I was jonesing to do a live stream. I said, it's Sunday morning. I have nothing to do. This would be a great morning to add a third morning coffee with Mitch. I always got a good audience on Sunday. So I made the decision to add Sunday. So we're going to be up to 3 a week. Eventually, I hope to be up to at least back to 7 a week. But for now, I'm going to go from 2 to 3. I'm doing much better. Sunday morning, 9:30. So I'll be here Friday, and then on Sunday, and then again on Tuesday. That will make the longest that any of us have to wait before we get together again. Will be 3 days. And we'll do that for a little while and see how it works out. It's all been happening very rapidly, very quickly. It's not been 7 weeks since this whole mess started. So I have to keep that in mind. Sometimes it feels like it's just creeping along. But when I look back at everything that happened in the last 6.5 weeks, wow. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, Lori, good morning to you. And Wayne Herman, how are you? Mandy Beddoes, how are you? At 7 o'clock yesterday evening, Terry Sue is back. Who's next? We have Michael Pregler. Hi, Michael. How are you? And at 8 o'clock in the evening, Tanya. Hi, Tanya. Kitchen Witch chimed in, followed by Rick in Miami and the Ducks. T. Mitchell chimed in last night. Smoothie. Jeff Johnson, the name you know. Where are you, Jeff? What happened to Jeff? Oh, no, it skipped. Give me a minute. Oh, it does this to me. With this left-handed mouse, I hit the wrong button. Take myself to the far end of the chat. Where is Jeff Johnson? There he is. Jeff Johnson, how you doing? Good to see you. You were here last night. Lady June and the Furrow Grandma. Still last night, Bob Black. Steve Rogers, Captain America's here. How you doing? Now, this morning, Michael Seeley Sr., Greg Smith, hi Greg, Julia Wigger's here. Early birds at 6 and 7 o'clock. Patty Molden. Paul McGrogan, hi Paul. Wow. I'm going to give us a shot here. Nicole Panagiotopoulos. Whoa. I think I got that right. That is the most syllables in a single last name that I've heard in a long time. Welcome. I will be sure to remember that name if I see you again. Wow. Oh, that's something. That's something. Sandy Blythe, hiya, Sandy. Carnivore police are here. Cliff Medina. Where's, oh, I did it again. I know what I'm doing. Oh, come on, guys. Sorry. There he is, Cliff Medina. Wow. Hi, Cliff. Meatitudes, how you doing? Margie Graves, how you doing? Terry Sue is back this morning, 9 o'clock. Meatitudes again. B-Matt, how you, B-Matt? I'm retired Rick, and CB Carmack is here. Everybody sneaking up on 9:30. Good morning, CB. How you doing this morning? See, who haven't I gotten yet? Tammy Pitarch. Hi, Tammy. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Laurie says, are we there yet? Not quite 5 minutes. Aaron, Booby Goats is here. And now we're up to 9:26. Margie Graves. Claudia Burkick. Hi, Claudia. Terry Sue is all over the place. Marla Kelly. Marla, good to see you. 929. DS 111. CB Carmack 929. Terry Sue 929. It's like calling a horse race. Also at 921. 929 rather. Bob Black, Sharon McCabe, Margie Graves, Aaron again. Holy cow, everybody diving on that button. Continuing to dive on most. Smoothie. The winner at 9:30. Congratulations. Followed by retired Rick. Lady June, Paul McGragan, Tina Schweikerath, hiya Tina, Melissa B, Bama J. Who this? Harry Dion, how you doing? At 9:30. Lori's Carnivore Story, Terry Sue's movie. Oh, wow. They're all piled. John Bassett, good morning to you. Still 9:30. Still 9:30. Lizzie. Brenda McIntyre at 9:30. Look at all the people dove on it at 9:30. Tanya Kitchen Witch, David B. Grace Lily. Wow. DS 111, retired Rick. We're going to, this is crazy. Wrangler VMP. Okay, a new one. And another new one. Jandine 5. Still 9:30. And the last at 9:30 was retired Rick again. Congratulations. Good to see everybody. Here's the £2 super chat that Tuka gave me. Thank you, Tuka. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. And I think we're going to start looking for questions. I think we're going to start looking for questions. I've been up since 5 a.m. myself. So let's see. If you have a question for me about anything, QQQ, 3 capital Qs in the chat, and I'll pick it up. I really don't have any pre-planned rants or speeches today. The announcement I had was about Sunday morning. Going to do the morning coffee on Sunday as well. I have a video coming out this afternoon. Make sure you look out for that. And nothing of medical interest on the morning news. I did watch the news this morning. One thing I'm noticing, there's more and more commercials, medical related advertising every week, more and more. Drugs I haven't seen advertised before, but even something that has more telling impact than just the drugs is institutional advertising. The hospitals, especially Advent Health, is doubling down on their advertising, both for their hospitals, their emergency rooms, and also they have a nursing school now. They're already teaching most of the doctors about their dietary recommendations. It's logical that they would want to teach the nurses. This is an invasion. It has all the hallmarks of an invasion. Gradually take over until there's no place else but you to get information. They've been doing it a long time, but they're ramping up their efforts. Most of it is sheer propaganda, but my only hope that this stops, and we could put a stop to it abruptly, and that would be, there are only 2 countries in the world, as far as I know, that allow drug advertising on TV. I don't know about institutional hospital advertising. There's been talk of outlawing drug advertising on TV. The problem, I think, is that since it's come to be that they say 75% of the advertising revenue now in the major media companies comes from big pharma and big medicine. The economists are saying that if we now outlaw drug advertising, it would be a financial disaster for all of the major mainstream media outlets. To that, I say, yes. Couldn't happen to more miserable, lying, cheating, corrupt people. If they all went away, it'd be too soon. Come on, Mitch, you're being mean. No, I'm not. Look at the mess they cause. Any of you that don't share my pure disdain for the whole system, which has tentacles everywhere in our lives, including the morning and evening news, try spending 3 weeks in the hospital. You will be mortified, mortified by what you see. At least I was. So yeah, RFK Jr., you want to make a real change? Outlaw drug advertising on television or radio. You did it with tobacco. You did it with alcohol. You can't show people drinking beer on TV in a TV commercial. Do it with drugs. you'll strike a blow for improving the health. The next thing, processed, ultra-processed foods. Outlaw that advertising. All that advertising is fraudulent, designed to enhance a person's addiction, and is no better than the cigarette ads that the very same companies and very same people used to run when you outlawed them. There. It's a tough stance, but it's a little rant. Somebody's got to rant about this stuff to attract attention to it. Otherwise, tell your doctor about Tremfya. Have you ever heard of that one? Tell your doctor, ask your doctor if Cymbalta is right for you. I'm so sick of hearing that. You can't ask your doctor. You can't even get a hold of your doctor, for God's sake. They're telling me, ask my doctor if this drug's right for me, and my first response is, how the hell am I supposed to ask my doctor? I can't even talk to the guy. I have to make an appointment months in advance just to see him. It's crazy. It's absurd. Check with your doctor for this. Check with your doctor for that. Check with your doctor for the other thing. Ask your doctor if this is right for you. Don't do this before you check with your doctor. Don't do that before you check with your doctor. Does my goddamn doctor live with me? No. The only way I'd be able to check with the man that often is if he lived in one of my spare bedrooms. It is stupid. And it is not about checking with your doctor. It is about funneling money to the media companies. The ads are just the vehicle. They don't care if you ever check with your doctor or not. So much fraud, so much corruption, so much propaganda. And yeah, I do get ticked off, but I don't stay ticked off because that's very stressful. I know you like a good rant, and I like giving you one once in a while. All right, enough of that. I said I didn't have anything to talk about it. Up it came. Oh yeah. Let me go down here and see if anybody has asked me a question. Anybody has asked me a question yet? Some words sound to me like they're a little harder to say. Words like question, and I have to be very cognizant. Sometimes when I listen to the replay of these things, I don't hear in the actual replay the slurring that I hear when I say them. I'm trying to keep the talking natural and still be cognizant of enunciating, slowing down a little bit, making sure I pronounce every syllable of every word. It's kind of like walking. I have to be conscious. Watch the video this afternoon. I have to be conscious of how I move or try to move my leg muscles, where I plant my foot, all of the different coordinations of all the different muscles necessary to do what we do unconsciously every day. Just walk. Some areas of my stroke, I'm recovering very rapidly. My hand is coming back. Even my shoulder's starting to. I can wear my watch now. I haven't been wearing it because I haven't been able to take my hand and swipe on it, but I can do that now. It's a little ugly, but occasionally I hit the right thing. The walking. I guess it's a real blessing that my mental clarity and memory was not affected, and that my speech wasn't affected enough to keep me from doing this. My facial muscles were affected a little bit. You notice it is more on this side than the right side, but not to have a facial droop. So all in all, for what happened, I think I came out pretty lucky, if you could consider this lucky. And I do. Remember, I said earlier, give it a lemon, make lemonade out of it, even if it has a few carbs. Anybody ask me anything here? Get this guy to stop rambling. Q. In the comments and on Moore's are weed eating outside my window. You guys are really having all kinds of conversations with each other this morning. BB Mac chimed, B81, sorry. B81 Mac chimed in, said, good morning, everybody. How you doing? And here's the first Q. Any more movement on that left side? My left side wasn't affected. You mean my right side? Yeah, especially with this arm, especially with being able to better control it, raising it up. It's coming back. I still have some numbness in it, as well as my right leg. I still have a little edema, a little swelling of the ankle at the end of the day in my right leg. I've been told that can be expected, so I'm just pushing through it. It's going to take some time for those things to recover. But I still proffer that the speed of my recovery is astounding. And you will see that if you watch my video this afternoon. And I'm really just not trying to hype the video. I'm so proud of it, and it was fun. Who do we have here? We have Amber. Amber, Lisa, like something or other. Right there has a $5 super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. No question, but always appreciate that. Let me look for more questions here. Did I answer the last one? Any movement on the, yeah. Everything, all the movement is improving. I'm becoming more sure on my feet. I'm not ready to try walking yet without a walker. I'm like a little toddler who learns to walk by falling down, getting up, falling down, and might fall down hundreds of times. Old guys like me don't want to fall down even once. You could break something. So we have to be much more cautious than a little toddler. And that's the one thing that I'm very wary of, is not putting myself in a position where I don't have something to grab onto. Now, the range of things I can grab onto is increasing. I'm learning how to walk, holding on door frames and countertops and other things. Kind of like I hate to say it, but kind of like a monkey when they swing in the trees. Their hands become an integral part of the whole motion, grabbing onto things and stepping on things. Well, it seems to work, and I'm gaining more confidence, and that's the key. Eventually, what I'll be doing, and pretty soon, I think, in therapy, is I'll let my therapist put a strap around me. They do that. They put a canvas strap around you, and they hang on from the rear to keep you from teetering. And then I'll try to go walking a few steps without the walker. I haven't used that wheelchair that I have here in 2 full days. In 2 full days, I have not sat in that wheelchair. That in itself, to me, is a milestone. Is a milestone. Bill Cook, how many coffees do you drink a day, Mitch? 2 or 3 here. I drink 1 decaf and usually 1 caffeinated. Maybe 2, especially on the days when I do my morning coffee live stream, such as today. This is my 3rd cup. 1 decaf, 2 caffeinated. Yes, I'm used to caffeine. Yes, caffeine gives me a boost, a well-needed boost. I've really looked into the negative aspects of caffeine and the positive and decided, for me, it's not that big a deal. I'm going to do it. I'm also continuing to smoke my cigar. But instead of 2 or 3 cigars a day, I've cut it back to maybe 1 cigar every 2 days. So for 3 cigars, I might smoke half a cigar one day and finish it the next day. I'm going to indulge myself. I didn't die from this. I could have. I still may have another episode and die from that. My life, and this is the reality of it, my life could be another week, or it could be 20 more years. I'm doing all the things that I think are going to help me make it to that 10 or 20 year mark, but I'm not going to sacrifice every little thing, live in a box, have no pleasure whatsoever for fear it may harm me. I'm not going to do that. And the simple pleasures that I've decided to hang on to, say maybe a half a cigar a day that I don't inhale, and I get so tired of people considering me a smoker. When you puff on cigars, you are not a smoker. Sorry, you may breathe a little secondhand smoke. Who doesn't these days? Who doesn't breathe pollution from cars? Who doesn't breathe toxic chemicals every time they take a breath? Cigar smokers do not inhale. If I told you that you were an alcoholic and you told me you never swallow, you drink all day, but you spit it out, that alcohol is not hurting you. You cannot be considered a smoker if you don't get smoke in your lungs. So I get so many comments. I think you should stop smoking. I don't consider myself a smoker. Maybe I'm crazy. Sorry. Neither did my grandfather, who smoked 5 cigars a day and lived to be 102 years old. Neither did George Burns, who smoked cigars every day of his life and lived to be 100 years old. I'll take that if I get it. That's another 20-some years for me. Puffing on cigars. I don't sit in cigar shops and smoke, surrounded by smoke all day long. I smoke out on my porch, period. So I am tired of hearing that, because it's just as erroneous as people who make assumptions that meat kills you. Don't eat meat, don't eat fat. There are facts in everything. So I'm going to continue to enjoy the last few vestiges of things that I enjoy until I get my life back and can go out and resume normal living like everybody else does. That was the answer to the question from Bill. How many coffees do you drink in a day? Thanks, Bill. Thanks, Bill. Aunt V is here. Good to see you, V. How you doing? I'm watching a video. What caused my stroke? Oops, I am late for the live show. Well, that's good. Now we got the blower outside my window. Oh, God. All right, another question from Paul Molden. Question: have you received medical advice from the carnivore doctors you are friends with? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. The advice I've received is keep taking the blood thinner, the 2 little aspirins I do, give up the statin, and for God's sake, slow down. That's the emphasis. You need to rest more. You need to give your body a chance to heal. Don't be so driven in your recovery. That's crazy, but that's the advice I'm getting. And I tend to agree with them. So I'm trying to take it a little easier. I didn't take it easy yesterday afternoon, but I videotaped it and it was fun. Lat says we're lucky they don't allow medical and drug advertising in the UK. Yeah, they're smart. They also don't allow the food dyes and all the food additives that we have here, which means they're just not as corrupt as our U.S. Department of Agriculture and Food and Drug Administration. I'm still waiting to see the big changes. Let's see any more questions. I'm sure there's some down there. I'm at 9:47. I'm about 25 minutes behind. Paul McGragan, I see cues. Mitch, explain why you think adding omega-3 will help reduce the omega-6 load in your body. Well, I'm adding the omega-3s and I'm trying to cut back on the omega-6 load. It's all about the ratio. So when you add one and leave the other the same, the ratio changes. I don't know if it's that significant. There's little things. I watched a couple of credible YouTubers, medical professionals, extol the virtues of fish oil. Not necessarily an omega-3 supplement, but a fish oil supplement, if it's a good one. I found what I think is a good one. I'll leave that up to you. I don't want to recommend it because I'm 90-something% sure it's good, but it's just my opinion. Excuse me. And done a lot of reading about the effects of too much omega-6s. About just as an example, what happens when you change a chicken's diet. It can change the ratio 10 times from 2-1 to 20-1 in an egg. What these animals eat is important. And I know that we're not, most of us, eating pristine grass-finished beef. I know that the chickens and pigs from the chicken and pork that we're eating has a higher omega-6. So I thought, why not take one little, fish oil capsule and see what happens. I haven't noticed any difference one way or the other yet, but I haven't been doing it long enough yet. At any rate, it's not one of these things where I'm saying, you better take this or you'll die. I'm saying it couldn't hurt. That's why I still take the iodine. And I was warned in a comment from yesterday. It's dangerous to take iodine every day. I haven't seen any evidence of that. But everybody's got an opinion. Okay, who else we got here? Rick says, good point, Rick. What happened to just say no to drugs? Well, they're not talking about their drugs. They're talking about narcotics. Say yes to every other drug. If you say no, your doctor gets mad at you. It's amazing how ignorant these doctors think we are. Look in the mirror, Doc. Look in the mirror. Ask yourself common sense questions. If you don't, I will, and you can't answer them. It's something when a doctor starts stumbling on the answer to a medical question that baffles him, and it comes from a patient. The doctors that I had that saw me every day in rehab, and I was there for 18 days, including the doctor that ran the rehab clinic, were afraid of me. I put them all of them on the spot every day with a question about biochemistry, cause and effect. How does the drug work? What pathways does it affect? And I threw out all these terms, medical and biology terminology. And I think that every one of them was afraid of me. They limited their interaction with me to the superficial. It was something to see. They started to talk to me like I had a brain, not like I was 3 years old. They started, when it came to medical or a medical decision, they started discussing it with me as if they were discussing it with another doctor. I found that gratifying. I also found it educational. It is mind-boggling how little they know about basic metabolic function and nutrition. It's mind-boggling. They only know the patient has a number that says this, you prescribe that drug in that particular dose. Reminds me, I'll take a brief detour down a little rabbit hole here. Reminds me of the pharmacy business. I grew up in the pharmacy business. My father owned a drugstore, a little corner drugstore in Philadelphia. Had a soda fountain. What a great place. If any of you are old enough to remember those corner drugstores with a soda fountain. Milkshakes, egg creams. Oh, God. Big 5-gallon tubs of ice cream that you dip scoops out of. Bar stools. Little bar stools without back. Much like the bar stools in the diner behind me. Those days are gone forever. And it brings back memories. I worked in my dad's drugstore. And I learned a lot about drugs and medicine in the drugstore and a lot about doctors because my father, of course, dealt with doctors and their prescriptions all the time. And he was always ranting on about how little they knew. But back in the day, a great number of prescriptions were compounded by the pharmacist. By compounded, I mean they were mixed. We had mortar and pestle, which is a symbol of a pharmacy, to grind up things to make them into powder so that they could be mixed. We made capsules. We bought huge boxes full of empty capsules so that we could fill them. And prescriptions, a lot of time, were just a list of ingredients that needed to be mixed together in a certain weight and everything and put into capsules. And a pharmacist was considered a chemist because that's what it was like. As things changed into the 50s, 60s, my father sold the drugstore in the mid-60s. Everything started to just come in a bottle. The amount of compounding that the corner drugstore pharmacist did was less and less and less and less. We used to make salves to put on your skin, syrups for coughs and things like that, all compounded by the pharmacist. And the pharmacist was truly a chemist first. Those days are gone. Everything started to just come in a bottle. The pharmacist's job was reduced to that of simply counting pills. Now, they're required to be knowledgeable with drug interactions and look out for a patient taking a certain combination of drugs that can be dangerous. But as far as the actual physical task of compounding prescriptions, it was over. Glorified pill counters. My father would not allow me to become a pharmacist, and that's how he put it to me. You don't want to be a glorified pill counter. It's a boring, not challenging way of life. And he wouldn't let me become a pharmacist. And that's what we have today. And that's how the practice of medicine has become. I don't know how I got started on this little story, but it's a story nonetheless, and I like telling stories. I think when I watch the replay, I'll realize how I got started. Lat has a question. Lat, may I say you're absolutely correct about pharma, mainstream media over independent? Yes, there's no doubt about it. It's a racket. It's a racket. Get the money in as much quantity as you can from the drug companies to the media companies so that whenever a story comes across their desk that is contrary to the interests of the status quo, they will not jump on it. They will jump on all stories that support this current mess that we have of eating healthy whole grains, healthy fruits and vegetables, minimizing that evil, artery clogging, stroke and heart attack causing red meat and saturated fat, even though every bit of evidence and science points the other way. So, Lat, you are absolutely right about that. And when you watch these ads on TV, ask yourself a question. It's only one way that you can logically answer it. Did that advertisement move you, even if you didn't know anything about carnivore? Was there anything about that advertisement that would move you to action? Every advertisement has to have a call to action. Otherwise, why bother? For those of you that aren't marketing people, a call to action is when they tell you, do this, ask your doctor is a call to action. How many people watching the advertisement on TV, number one, have this obscure medical condition that the advertisement is aimed at? Very few. Of those very few people that are left, how many people are going to remember that stupid name they never heard before, like Tremfya? That's real. Tremfya. After sitting through that horrifying list of side effects from anal leaking to death, how many people are going to say, that's for me? So in reality, how many people are going to actually end up buying that drug and getting their doctor to prescribe it? Zero. Maybe one or two easily misled suckers, if they could get a hold of their doctor. That advertisement costs that drug company a fortune. They don't care if nobody buys the drug. They are buying the messaging and the narrative of that news media outlet who doesn't dare go against them. And if you don't think that's the real God's honest truth, come up with some logic that shows otherwise. Question, why are my triglycerides so high? Try 167, HL 66, LDL 506. Well, is that really that high? I still think that so many things about these numbers are left to chance. Most of these numbers vary every few seconds, if even that long. They're regulated by something in the body that needs them. If you are a true, see, I've never understood myself why somebody who is really trafficking fat in their body, eating no sugar, pure carnivore, wouldn't have high triglycerides. It depends, I think, on the time of day that you measure it or when you measure it. I think it can vary wildly. Triglycerides are the form of fat that carries the energy to the different cells. We have some free fatty acids that don't hitch a ride in an LDL particle, but are combined, bind up with albumin and can be carried through the bloodstream too. So, for example, right after you eat, you get a lot of fat that goes direct from your gut to your bloodstream, and that fat can be trafficked, and that'll raise your triglycerides. My triglycerides is about 100, yet all the lean mass hyperresponder stuff you hear wants it lower than that. Triglycerides are generally carried in VLDL, the very low density lipoproteins, and are responsible for carrying energy to every cell in our body. I would think that at certain times of the day, they would be high. The only way I could confirm my theories about this would be to measure my triglycerides 100 times a day, plot it on a chart, like people do with their blood sugar when they're wearing a constant glucose monitor. And we all know how wildly that swings. So think about it. If you're burning sugar as energy primarily, I know a lot of people don't think that people burn sugar or people use sugar as opposed to fat. You know that I don't think that's true. It's very evident. You can live without sugar. You don't get hungry as often, and your whole physiology changes. Your whole life changes. So I equate triglycerides, or the graph of triglycerides over the course of a day, almost similar to the charts that come off a glucose monitor. Your daily needs for energy wildly swing depending on your diet and your activity. And I think that the triglycerides go up and down too. Your HDL is good at 66. Your LDL is higher than mine. But you can measure that. It can be 100 to 200 points different if you measure it 2 hours apart. All these things, I think, we make too much of them. We have no control over them anyway, except to take drugs which inhibit some biochemistry, which I never think is that good an idea. So if you're feeling good, my friend, and you got energy, do like I do. Say, that's what my numbers are, and there's got to be a reason. I'll trust my programming over that doctor's opinion. That's the best we can do. Is it possible we're wrong? It's always possible. Common sense. It just makes sense to me. I don't worry about it. My LDL, my last physical was 450. When I had the stroke, went to the hospital, my LDL was 330. It's 120 points different. Who knows? Up and down, up and down. Thanks for answering my question, Mitch. Excellent. I hope I answered it. I can't give you a definitive answer. Lori says, I asked a question earlier. Oh, no, Lori. Where is it? I'm sorry. I missed it. Let me look. Oh, wow. There's so many. I won't be able to find it. Ask it again. I'll see if you did. That chiming sound that you hear was somebody sitting off my motion detector at my front door. And I have to look and see who it was. And I think somebody's at my door. Can I help you?
Hi, yeah, I'm Rich Anderson, your neighbor.
Oh, hey, Rich, how you doing? Listen, Rich, I'm in the middle of doing a live stream on YouTube.
Oh, okay, hey, that's great. I'm glad to hear from you, bud.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm starting to walk around the neighborhood a little bit, so I'll probably be walking by your house here before too long.
Oh, that sounds good. Hey, I'll come down and spend an hour with you some evening, okay?
Yeah, but
I got to Narcotics Anonymous tonight to help some people.
Oh, okay, good. Well, listen, yeah, come on by anytime other than at 9:30 in the morning when I do these live streams.
It'll be sometime after dinner.
All right, man. Just come on down. I'll see you then, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Thanks.
Take
Bye.
care.
Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
All right, I'll talk to you later.
How about that? So I got to share that little visit from my neighbors that are concerned about me and my. That's what you do with a Ring doorbell. You can sit anywhere and talk to them outside at the door on your cell phone. It's a great gadget. Great gadget. I'd recommend it to anybody. I'd recommend it. Holy cow, we got 191 people here. Almost 200. Wow. Wow, that's fabulous. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where was I? Well, it's 10:30. How about that? Thomas, Target, prime rib. Question. One time had to wait 2 hours before someone came to help me after calling them. What is the longest you are made to wait for help? In the hospital, when you push that button, there were times when they never came. Then I pushed it again. There were times when I wheeled myself out in the hallway of the rehab, in the hallway, and there was a light over every door in that hallway. Every light was on. Everybody in every room had pushed their button. What happens, and I don't blame this on the nurses, they're not screwing around. But, and this may sound a little gross, but it happened all the time. Many bedridden people have terribly messy accidents in bed. It requires a lot of time and attention to clean it up. And it's ugly. How do I know this? It happened to my roommate all the time, which is why I got so little attention, because he was getting all the attention. I couldn't hate them for it, but it was very evident to me that they could have used 3 times the nursing staff at that hospital to make sure that everybody's needs were met. And once a nurse started dealing with one of these disasters, having to not only clean up the patient, but clean up the entire environment, including the bathroom, his bed, all that had to be done. It could take a half an hour with 20 or 30 people leaning on their button and 2 nurses busy dealing with patients on things that are going to take a half an hour. Is it any wonder why people wait so long? Not to mention the fact that bedridden people, like me, in the beginning I was bedridden. When you got to go, you got to go. And you end up maybe doing dangerous things to get to that bathroom before you become one of those people I said who makes a mess everywhere. Such as being in the hospital. It sucks. It sucks. Don't do it, Thomas. Stay out of the hospital if you can. There is that super chat from Amber. Amber Lisa Lager. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Oh, and I might casually mention that I do have a Buy Me a Coffee deal. If any of you want to help me out, buymeacoffee.com/OldGuyCarnivore. Thank you. None yet today. I have to remind you sometimes. Shameless plug. Okay. I'm ready to wrap this up. Richard Williams has a question. Are you chasing the gals around with your walker? No, I'm not. Not chasing them, Richard. And they're not chasing me. So I'm very happy with that situation. Minatu says, question, will you try ballroom dance? Helps with balance and posture, prevents dementia too. No, I'm going to find other ways to exercise. I'm going to forgo the ballroom dancing. But thank you. It's not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Question, I always like this question from Tue here. How do I become wise like you, boss? Can't help you with that one, Tuka, but I appreciate you always asking. It's quite a compliment. More questions. Mama Bear. Hiya, Mama Bear. How are you? Question. When I'm reading about sunlight benefits other than vitamin D, one is nitric oxide, which is supposedly great for cardiovascular health. Yes, it is. Blood pressure and prevention of death. Heard of this? Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is why so many of the things that they say are bad, a high blood urea nitrogen, if it involves nitrogen, sometimes I wonder, well, when you get that nitric oxide in your blood, isn't that good for you? And most people in the biochemical and medical arena acknowledge the fact that NO2, that nitric oxide, is beneficial for the human body. It's not something I dwell on, but the consensus from what I've heard is, yes, it is good. An interesting little homework assignment might be, look it up and look up what causes higher nitric oxide levels and what can you do to achieve this. And then come back and tell me. I've read all that before. So much of it I've forgotten. There's so much to learn. Are there any more questions before I call it a day? 10:06. Oh, I'm still way behind here. Let me fly through this last little bit. Sorry, I can't read all your chats. Melanie, question, how's the weather today? Beautiful. Beautiful here. Beautiful. It's going to be 85 here. It started out at 62 this morning. Nice cool nights. Bright sun, no clouds. Just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Let's see. I got my physical therapist coming today at noon. I have to eat between the time I finish here and he comes. So I don't want to let it go much past 10:30, which it already is. Questions, up to 10:24, almost catching up. Let's see if we get to the end. Laurie, question. I just wanted to know at the start of the show if we could link, if we could drink it, if we got it. You can always drink it if you got it. I think I said that. If I forgot, shame on me. I see a question from Smoothie asked down at the bottom. I'll be getting to that pretty soon. 10:31, 6 minutes behind. He asked me, whatever happened to the plumber? Long story. There it is. Whatever happened to the plumber? There's good news, there's bad news. The bad news is he got sick, he got a kidney infection, it's been killing him. The good news is we're still talking, and hopefully in a week or two he'll be able to get back here. But I haven't lost touch with him. Good guy. I don't think he's going to leave me stranded, but he's got to get over it. Well, my friends, little happy music. Lat, can you do some merchandise? Be more like Mitch and keep us motivated. I don't think anybody knows what that means anyway, Lat. So thanks for the thought. Listen, my friends, say goodbye to everybody in the chat. We'll be back on Friday morning. I'll be putting out a video or two meantime during the week, letting you know my progress. Maybe some more kitchen stuff, maybe some more walking stuff. Certainly keeping you apprised of my recovery and letting you in along for the ride to see the things you don't normally see. And that's my son. Okay. I'm on the live stream, Mike. All right. Okay. I'll call him back when we're done. Anyway, say goodbye to everybody in the chat. Smoothie, Wanda, Gerling, Mandy Beddoes, Dixie, Scott Hyde, Dixie, and B.A., Mike Sealy, Sandy Blythe, Lat, Lori, Bob Black, Rick, Charger Mopar, Carnivorous. I like that. Carnivorous. Charles Faircloth, Movie Goats. Everybody say goodbye. Meet it tunes and happy music ends. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate it very, very much. I hope you enjoyed it. I was all over the place today. Don't miss the video this afternoon, and we'll talk about that next time. It was interesting. And in the meantime, my friends, take the rest of the day off and eat meat.